gotta walk before you can run. And here with some advice on picking up your exercise pace is fitness expert Chloe Banks. All right, so I'm so glad we're having this discussion. We're talking about running. We both love to run, but when you're a beginner, it can be very daunting. But you just had a runner's high, so to speak. Tell us about that experience.
I went to England, Wasakini, Canada, and I ran my very first half marathon.
Ooh, wow. That was your first run?
Thank you.
Okay.
My first.
So you went from not running to a half marathon.
Yeah.
How many kilometers is that?
That's 13 miles. The funny thing is when they asked me if I wanted to come, I was like, absolutely. And I literally had to Google how long is a half marathon.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea what I was signing myself up for, but I'm so happy I did it. It was such an amazing experience.
All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, so there are certain things, if you want to start running, it's not easy, but there's certain things you can do, and you have some tips for us.
Yeah.
So the first one is, I love this, stop making excuses.
Yes. Stop making excuses. It doesn't matter what your physical level is. Running is one of the most simplest forms of exercise. And when I ask people why they don't run, I always hear, I don't have time to run, I'm too tired to run.
It's also very intimidating. Maybe that's another reason why people don't start,
Yeah.
right? So no excuses.
No excuses.
All right, second one is sign up for a race.
Yes.
Why?
So do some research, sign up for a race, pay for it, and commit to it. So
because once it's paid for, you
gotta do it, right?
Yeah.
So by having this date on the calendar, you have a reason to be motivated to go outside and have a run, right? And also the fact that you have to pay for it, hopefully you're a little bit more inclined to actually commit to it.
Well, when your money's tied up in it, you're gonna run, whether you like it or not, right?
Yeah, so if you're a beginner, I would suggest looking at a 5K and make sure you're giving yourself enough time to train. So give yourself at least 8 weeks to train for a 5K.
That's exactly what I did for my first one. I signed up for a 10K and I gave myself like, I think 2 months beforehand, went with a group and then started that way to learn how to do it. All right, so the third tip is get comfortable with the run walk. What is the run walk?
Yes, so the run walk method is very simple. It's basically you run a little bit and then you take a walking break. And the purpose of this is to give your muscles, your tendons, your mind a break. And a lot of people may think, you know, if you're walking, then you're not running. But actually, what you end up doing is you can increase how far you can run by doing this method.
Okay.
And it's very popular. Studies have shown, in my race, I saw people walking and then 2 minutes later, they're running right past me.
Okay,
so
probably trying to catch their breath. It's 21 kilometers.
Yeah, it's a long race. It's a long race.
Take a little bit of a
So
break.
I brought in actually a training plan that you can do. So you'll see the first day you start, you're walking 2 minutes and you're running for a minute. And if we go over to the next week, by the second week, you're already running 5 minutes and walking 1 minute.
Okay, so you build up your stamina.
You build up your stamina. You don't have to go out there and run a 5K right away. Just pace yourself.
I love that. That's good advice. All right, so what about training on a treadmill versus running outside? Because I personally cannot run on a treadmill. It is so boring to me.
Yeah, it is really, really boring, but you have to keep in mind that you're actually working different muscles on a treadmill than you would outside. And that's just because of the incline. A lot of the times when we go for a run, you don't realize how much you're going up and down.
So true.
But on a treadmill, if you're staying at zero incline, you're gonna have a rude awakening when you go outside and do an actual race, because it's not gonna be on a zero incline.
That's so true. Now, one thing that I fell into when I started running was I thought, well, I know how to run. Everybody knows how to run, right? So I'll just run out, put on the shoes and run outside. But you say there's actually like a posture, a runner's form that you should adapt to.
Yeah, as a beginner, you definitely want to take concern with your form. So what you want to be looking for, I brought a graphic in, is you want to have your head facing forward. Don't look at your feet.
Which is hard at first.
Yes.
Because you want to look down.
Yes.
Okay.
Just trust that your feet know what they're doing.
Okay.
So look forward, and then your shoulders, you want them to be down. You don't want them to be up at your ears.
Okay, so
when
relax.
Yeah, relax. When you're swinging your arms, you don't want to swing your arms across your body. Keep your core forward. And also, when you're landing with your foot, don't land on your toe, don't land on your heel. Land in the middle of your foot.
All right, so we got the basics covered. Any other tips to keep a runner motivated?
Yeah.
Because that's the hard part. In order to get ready for a 10K or a half marathon, the motivation is the hardest part sometimes.
I would say definitely invest in the right gear, like I mentioned before. Make sure that you invest in a proper running shoe.
So in the running shoe, what am I looking for? Arch support? What am I looking for?
Definitely arch support. You're looking for comfort. You're looking for heel support. You have to try out a couple. It's like a wedding dress. You got to try out a couple to see which one works for you, which one you really gravitate towards.
All right, so let's talk about the clothing as well. So the first time I ran, it was cold outside, and I have a Caribbean background, so I put on a toque. And a scarf.
Yeah.
And mittens, because I didn't want to be cold.
Yeah.
You're saying, should I do that or should I not do that?
It depends on the weather, but just keep in mind that your body is gonna actually heat up about 20 degrees while you're running. So whatever it is out, like you don't wanna go outside in winter in just a t-shirt.
No.
You definitely wanna protect your head, but know that you are gonna warm up a lot.
All right, and moisture wicking is super
Moisture
important.
wicking is super important. Don't go outside for a run in a cotton t-shirt. You're gonna feel like a wet dog after. It's just really not comfortable at all.
Okay. And also, what about like all the technology to keep track of like your heart rate and stuff? Do you wear that? Or do you think
I
it's important?
totally don't leave anywhere without it. So I keep track of my mileage, how many calories I'm burning, how far I've ran,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, all right. Good advice. All right, well, Chloe is staying with us, and after the break, we are actually breaking a sweat. I don't know if my hair can take that.
We're gonna sweat.